we till now we have discussed about all these processes. There is something called compliant processing, like if any quantity discrepancy, or else if any quantity got damaged, or else for quantity price got increased, or else sometimes your tax got increased. So for all these processes, for complaint handling is handled through couple of documents called credit memo process and a debit memo process. So for credit memo and debit memo requests, how it need to be created. Sometimes you can try to create manually without any intervention of any document. Like something you get to know, you don't want to link any document, you can create that manual process. Sometimes, most of the times, with reference to invoice, your credit memo, debit memo will be created. But certain client scenarios with reference to sales order also, your credit memo and debit memo will be created. This credit memo we have already seen at the part of your returns process. So there we have seen few scenarios. Let's try to see the credit memo, manual credit memo without returns. So in returns you will have a return delivery, but when it comes to credit memo, here you don't have any delivery. So that is the only difference. Otherwise everything looks like the same. So let's try to understand how the credit memo and debit memo works on SAP system. After that, we are going to see our final process, invoice correction request. Let's try to get onto that. So let's quickly go to the SAP. So let's try to create a sales order now. So we have used ZOR1 as our document type. Let's try to check for 1CHM for domestic sales. Let's try to take our customer. So in this customer, you take the material code and let's try to put it some maybe some 20 quantity. So this 20 quantity, if you go to the conditions, you see for 200, it is 20,000 euros. It is got applied at the time of punching your order from customer service side, or else from your customer side. So let's try to check incomplete log for this order. So document is complete. If you go to the schedule lines, it is confirmed for 9th September. Let's go back. Let's try to do the deliver this order now. So it is for 9th, since it is showing 8. Let's copy this 9th. So maybe some schedule line block is there. Let's try to remove this one. Someone has defaulted at schedule lines. So if you remove this, let's go back for our standard item category. Let's try to do the deliver now. If you see here, let's go back and try to pick some quantity. Okay. So here, do the post goods issue. So now you got it, total quantity, and let's try to do the billing for this net value 19012. So now everything is done. Your customer received the bill VF03. Let's enter, and once he checked the bill in his printout, he got to know that per piece is 200 euros. But your customer said that it is only 150 euros, 150 euros per piece for this customer exclusively. But as per your process, it is got applied. So that means for a 150 euros, you try to get adjust your credit memo. How you are going to try to adjust your credit memo for this? Let's go to the credit memo document type. Before going credit memo, let's try to create the credit memo with reference to this invoice. Let's copy this invoice. Okay. Now let's go back and try to create your credit memo. CR is the document type for your credit memo. Take the customer reference, sorry, take the billing reference. So let's copy for the same customer. So the copy control for GTTN to CR is not defined. Let's try to correct this. At item level, it is showing an error because so GTTN is not part of your copy controls. What is our copy controls? Let's click VT and your source is billing and target is order. So target you mention A and source is F. So let's press enter. So now go to the change mode. Let's click on the position. Your billing document type is F2. From F2, while copying your credit memo, you are getting this error. Let's select this. Go to the item. If you see item categories, TAN is there, but you don't have GTETN, your created item category. That's why it's showing an error. Let's select this. Let's try to copy TAN as GTTN so that these settings will be applied automatically. When copying from that document to this document type, certain settings will be there. Pricing type D means it is not going to change your pricing elements, so that when you are copying from your invoice to credit memo, nothing will be changed. So let's go back. Now try to create with reference. Let's copy your billing document type. Now let's try to copy now. So everything is copied at the rate of 200 euros, 19012. Now let's try to go to your conditions. If you see, this base price is 200 euros. Okay. Maybe you can do that. You can enter any manual condition type, or else if your base price is enabled, you can able to change it to 150 euros. So you can do like this also. So if it is says 200 euros means 20,000 is the value. Okay, let's try to calculate it on Excel. Let's go to the Excel now. So now let's try to compare. The price is 200 euros. If you go for 20 quantity, 20 quantity means 20 boxes. If you convert 20 boxes into pieces, it is 100 pieces. So equal to your 200 into 100, that means 20,000. Now if you try to understand, this is the thing. If you try to compare the same with 150 euros is the actual agreed price with your customer. Okay, so if it is 150 euros, so then equal to your 100 into 150, that means 15,000 difference it should come. So if you try to make it as 75, so your value be adjusted to 15,000. This is our the target value need to be do it for your customer. So if you try to understand, so for 100 pieces at the rate of 200, it is 20,000. at the rate of 15, it is 15,000. So if it is 15,000, so if you make a difference of your actual value, what is applied our invoice versus what's supposed to be done is 5,000 euros. So for 5,000 euros, is supposed to raise a credit memo. If you'd like to do 5,000 euros, then if you take 50 pieces, okay, equal to 50 into your, what I would say, if you press enter, 50 into at the rate of 200. Let's try to check. So maybe 25 I can take. 25, it's equal to 25 into 200. So that 5,000 came. So that you can make a settlement of 25 euros. Like that, offline is supposed to calculate it if you would like to find the difference. Now let's go back to your credit memo, right? Let's try to change your credit memo now with 25 pieces. 25 pieces means 25 divided by 5. That means 5 boxes. 5 boxes, if you calculate it exactly, you will get 5,000. Like that, if it, since it is automatic condition, you try to readjust how you want it once it is copied, or else manually you can try to create your credit memo instead of taking with reference. So that's why you have a manual credit memo. Directly you can take the credit memo, you can manually enter the how many pieces versus the price you would like to get settled on. Okay, so if you see here, item category is G2N here. So before approving, you will have a block like this, and let's try to check incomplete log. You try to, for which region you are creating the credit memo, it is showing the order region. So now let's try to complete it. So you can see the price discrepancy. So that means price was too high. Let's select this valid reason. So these regions will be created according to the your customer request. Now let's try to do the bill. So if you see the bill, G2 is the document. It's supposed to be created. Now let's try to check the conditions again. So your price is 5,000. For 5,000 it is creating. So you're returning back to the your customer. Let's try to check why you are getting this accounting document error. So let's try to go to the environment, account determination analysis. And if you see here, this is not our procedure, what we have defined. Let's go to uh, VKOA. Let's go to VOFA. So let's try to go to the G2 document type. Since it is a standard it is got assigned, but we have created our own account determination procedure, COFI 00. Let's save this for credit memo, and let's try to release this one again. So let's release this. It is already released. Now let's try to check the accounting entries again for financial observation. If you see here, when you compare with your finance and everything got reverse, and let's try to go to the sales order and try to check the total document flow. If you see total document flow, you got invoice created with reference to SD side document. This is request. Most of the people confusing. Memo is from your what I would say finance side. I mean SD side billing document type is this is SD side order document type. This is CR and this is G2. So this is how doc flow will be there. Now let's try to create one more scenario like this. Let's go to the sales order again. Let's try to create order. Sorry, go back. Ours is Jadwa R1. Let's go back. Let's try to enter the customer again. So let's try to enter your quantity. Let me take again 20 boxes. Let's try to remove the block at schedule line level. Now let's try to do the delivery. So you got 20 boxes. So here you find the scenario like instead of 20 boxes, actually your delivery dispatcher sent only 15 boxes. That means, so 15 he has sent, the quantity discrepancy like 15 he has sent, that means low. So it is minimum asking. Let's try to put it 20 only. Let's try to check another scenario because we have put some error message. Let's try to make it the post goods issue now. Okay, so let's try to do the bill here. So it is got it. So now let's try to take with reference to, or else manually you can take the credit memo. Let's try to create the credit memo now. For which reason this credit memo we are creating? Actually you asked only 15. Okay, maybe you asked some something like 20 initially asked, but actually delivered by only 18. Let's assume such kind of scenario. Less it is got delivered. Okay, so your material is 200. Manually I'm just trying to create it instead of copying. So physically when bill is done for 20 quantity, but physically they have received only 18. Maybe two got missed, not damaged. It is completely missed. So that your company has policy, you don't want to send anything against to your actual ordered quantity. You are just returning back the amount. Such cases, 18 they received, for the remaining two, you are creating manual credit memo. Let's go and check the conditions. It is for two quantity, it is 2000 for two boxes. Okay, now let's try to remove the block again. Assume that it's got approved. Let's go to the order and try to choose the order reason. What is that? Quantity discrepancy. Like that, it can be n number of reasons for creating your credit memo. Let's go and try to build this. So it will be built with G2 document type, and let's try to save this. Before that, you need to check the value. So this is how your credit memo works when you supposed to pay back to your customer. It can be any reason. Sometimes your tax might be, you price it high, but the tax actually it is low. Okay, like that you can use the your credit memo like this. Let's try to understand how the debit memo works in the next session.